And we're coming to you live for the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network and wherever you are in the free Odyssey app. Good Wednesday morning, inching closer to Super Bowl 59. It is a Phil Simms Wednesday. We will talk to him in 2 hours from now. Bill Cowher yesterday liked the Eagles in the game. We'll see if we can get Phil to actually answer that question at 8 a.m. And basketball in New York City is alive and well, both at the college level and in the NBA. A couple of wins last night, a huge run for St. John's at the Garden, beating Marquette, the 11th-ranked team in the country, and, of course, a huge win in the conference. And also the Knicks continue to roll, even though it got a little dicey up there in Toronto, but Jalen Brunson puts on the cape again, and they continue to win. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, and it was kind of fun going back and forth between St. John's and the Knicks last night. And, you know, it's nice that the Knicks can win a game where they're supposed to win the game, and I don't think it was all that difficult. I mean, they had a nice lead at halftime, and everybody, you saw balanced scoring throughout the starting lineup, including my man Precious Achiuwa. So it's interesting because the trade deadline is upon us almost. It's almost here. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow, I guess at 3 p.m. tomorrow, I think.
Is it 3? Yeah, it's tomorrow for sure.
So we'll see whether or not the Knicks are going to do anything here and what else happens around the NBA and whether or not Jimmy Butler gets traded.
Yep. And also Kevin Durant.
It's amazing to me. Like, if you're the Phoenix Suns, didn't you acquire him to try to win a championship?
Yeah.
Now,
yes, you did.
Why the hell would you trade him?
Well, because it's not working out the way that you wanted it to work out.
It hasn't worked out the way anybody has wanted it to work out since he left Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, of course, and that being Brooklyn and then the Suns. So take this for what it's worth. I mean, this is Sports Illustrated that has put this article out there detailing a tweet from a guy who covers the NBA. I will get his name. Brandon Scoop Robinson. He's got the scoops.
Okay.
Scoop B. Robinson.
Yes.
So he put out there yesterday, in addition to the Rockets, Dallas, and Chicago, the Rockets, Dallas, and Chicago have some level of interest in Kevin Durant. Then he quote tweets his own tweet and says, add the Heat and the Knicks to that list also. Scoop Robinson's got Kevin Durant possibly going to the Knicks. The Knicks have an interest. I can't imagine why in the hell that would happen or what they'd even be able to give up to make that happen. But Scoop's got it. Scoop threw the Knicks out there. And maybe he did it just for a little fishing, a little bait.
Okay.
Someone like me.
Yes.
Sucking up the chum.
All right, so.
But it's out there.
All right, so it's out there right now.
Yeah.
So the question that I would have for you, I don't want him here.
No.
I don't want him here at all.
It doesn't make any sense.
Does that sound stupid?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
I don't
sound
want it
stupid.
to sound stupid. And I guess maybe some of this depends on what the situation is with Anunoby. But why? So is everybody supposed to bend over backwards for Kevin Durant to help him try to win yet another championship? Is that the idea here?
Well, the idea is that someone like that who has won before and still is very talented, joining a good team, should be able to help them. I don't think it's bending over backwards to put Kevin Durant where he wants to go anymore.
Well, I mean, that means somebody on the Knicks is going to sit. That means somebody on the Knicks is going to be losing valuable time that they have been playing all the way up to this point. Like I said, I was thinking that the Knicks, if they're going to do something, it's going to be a bit piece because if Anunoby's coming back, you know, they have their starting five. They know who their starting five is. Their starting five has played well together. And last night, you know, obviously against a lesser team in Toronto, and you know, and the other night before, you know, against Houston, who turned out to be a little bit of a sleep last night because they lost to the Nets. But the fact of the matter is that they have 6 guys that they can legitimately, 7 guys that they can legitimately count on. You know, some of these other guys, these back end guys, you know, that's another story. And whether or not you can bring Mitchell Robinson back or trade Mitchell Robinson and get something else back that you think that would help your team move forward, I could get that. But bringing in somebody of that stature to the Knicks is, I think, upsets the apple cart personally. And there is something to be said about a happy team, a team that's playing together, a team that likes each other. And you know what? Could you imagine? Let's just say we come in here Thursday, and let's just for speculation standpoint, because I would be against this, Kevin Durant is acquired by the Knicks.
Well, it depends what is given up, and I'm sure it would be significant that there are a ton of teams that are involved. But yeah, I mean, it's not something I want to see, and I do think there's a very, very small percentage. I'm thinking what probably happens is when there's a guy like that who's available, every general manager calls and sees what's going on with it. That's all.
So right now, the Phoenix Suns right now are going through the circus machinations of potentially putting out a superstar out there for trade, or is it the superstar that wants the trade? I mean, like, this is the crap that the Mavericks didn't have to deal with. Now the Mavericks have to deal with the blowback of everything and the reaction to by everybody in regards to trading Luka Doncic. But I mean, now the Suns are right in the middle of the circus ring.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's funny because you would have thought that a Kevin Durant trade would have been the biggest news around the trade deadline. It's sort of like a footnote to what happened with Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic. But I don't think the Knicks are pulling that type of trade at the deadline. And I don't even know if Kevin Durant's going to get moved. You heard about maybe role players coming in for the Knicks. I read some stuff about actually some Toronto Raptors that they like. They already made the deal with the Raptors, obviously within the OG and Obi deal. So maybe Masai Ujiri and Leon Rose have a relationship there where they can get a guy like Chris Boucher. So something like that is a little bit that's more realistic.
Now, for the Miami Heat, are they thinking about trying to acquire Kevin Durant and pairing him with Jimmy Butler and keeping Jimmy Butler happy? Or are they trying to get rid of Jimmy Butler and then acquire Kevin Durant?
I'm not sure what's going on down there. I just know that Pat Riley just got a big check from the NFL.
Yes.
And he's probably like, whatever.
And the
I've won a ton of championships, and I just got millions of dollars into my bank account from the NFL for the three-peat, trademark.
Right. He has a trademark for three-peat. I think that, I don't know if did you see a number attached to that?
I'm sure it's millions.
No.
It's millions.
Number one, it's only going to be used if Kansas City wins.
I guarantee it's millions.
No, I think that he definitely gets a lot of money for registering that and owning that patent. There's no question about it. I did read, I didn't see any money attached to it, where he did agree that if Kansas City did win, they were going to be able to use the three-peat moniker. I just don't know. There's some money involved, and I'm sure let's say if they win, I'll just say he's probably going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
If they win and they sell $1 billion worth of merchandise with that on there, then he is going to get a percentage of all of those sales. That's probably the deal, as opposed to them paying up front $10 million to use it.
Okay.
That would be really touching the money. If you're the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, but the Chiefs it's not really the Chiefs, right? It's more the NFL and their trademark stuff.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I think it's a percentage, and I think it's only if the Chiefs win. So I would think that Pat Riley has a very interesting or vested interest in the Chiefs winning.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he is rooting hard for the Kansas City Chiefs.
So here's something I dug up the other day.
You digging stuff up?
I was digging stuff up because it's a little
dig.
bit slow because we're not down there, and we're not feeling the buzz of the Super Bowl right now.
I don't think anybody's feeling the buzz of the Super Bowl.
That's right. I feel like we're a little bit insulated or something. I don't know really what it is.
Well, it's a matchup that nobody likes.
We're not having beignets down there in Bourbon Street.
Yeah, right.
All right. So I dug this up.
You dug it up.
And it's a Kirk Cousins dig up.
Ooh, okay.
So, if your team has lost to a Kirk Cousins-led team, your team has not won the Super Bowl. And
Wow.
This year, the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it was in week 2 or week 3, lost to the Kirk Cousins-led Falcons.
Yeah, that was a game where Saquon dropped the ball. It was either a 2-point conversion or a touchdown. I remember that was the one where Morash put out that video where he's like, Saquon's a loser, and then everybody's come back and reposted that.
Uh-huh.
And that was a bad loss for them early on in the season. Well, interesting. And how many teams are there that have had
I think it's 8 straight years.
8 straight years?
I think so, yeah.
A team that was in the Super Bowl lost?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, because during the season they lost to a Kirk Cousins-led team.
It couldn't have been last year because the San Francisco 49ers did not play the Minnesota Vikings last year. Or if they did, they certainly didn't beat them. can guarantee you that. The Vikings beat them this year, but last year with Kirk Cousins on that team, I don't think they beat the 49ers. I don't even think they played them the prior year. But I have a terrible memory these days.
You do have a terrible memory.
But I don't think they
Why
did.
do you have such a bad memory?
Well, because there's just too much stuff in there now. And I'm hanging on to things that don't matter. I have very odd memories of things.
Okay.
Like that guy who took his pants off in the locker room of that gym and what he said that day. I told you that story.
Yes.
Where he's just got totally undressed in the gym when I was younger. And he said, I come to the gym, but then I get hungrier and eat, and it's counterproductive. That is stuck in my head with him having the thing flapping out. The Vikings schedule in 2023, don't remember.
All right, here it is. Let's say it's not as popular as the Curse of the Bambino or the Madden cover jinx.
Okay.
Over the past 8 years, no team that has lost to a Kirk Cousins team that season has ever gone on to win the Super Bowl. Cousins and the Falcons upset the Eagles back in week 2.
But isn't that – but
so you'd have to look back at all the matchups for the Super Bowls over the last 8 years. And I think every one of the teams that lost in the Super Bowl.
No, I'm telling you that's wrong. Because in 2023, it couldn't have happened. 2023, I'm telling you right now. Now, that could be like any team that he played didn't win the Super Bowl, not the team that lost in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I
That makes that stat sort of silly if that's the case. If they had actually lost in the Super Bowl and lost to Kirk Cousins 8 straight years, that would be something.
Okay, so how do you want to do this? You want to go back to – let's go back to the 2023 season, right?
Yeah.
For the Minnesota Vikings.
Right. They did not play.
Let's say, so who was in the Super Bowl last year?
The Chiefs, Chiefs, and the. Oh wow! Is it 23? They did beat the Niners.
Yeah. See.
Wow. Okay, so that's one.
See, your memory is a little foggy, and don't question. When I come up with one.
You didn't come up with it. Someone sent you that.
No, I came up with it.
You didn't come up.
No, you didn't.
I saw it, and I
You
put it
didn't come
together.
up with it. You saw it.
Well, I didn't do the research for it.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, but don't
I
question
saw the
it.
moon last night. I didn't make it.
Yeah, listen, you can see the moon all you want. You sat here and you just questioned what I told you. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah. So you're telling. All right. So now you're telling me that now we're going to go back every single year.
If you want to go for 8 years, so let's go back to 2022. Who was in the Super Bowl in 2022?
The Eagles.
Eagles, Chiefs,
And
was
they
the
lost 24-7.
No. The Vikings lost. They didn't beat the Eagles. So bang, wrong. They didn't play. They played them once. They didn't play them again. If you're looking for that, played them once and lost. So stat down the toilet.
Well, wait a minute.
Flush. What do you mean timeout? You said that a team that lost to a Kirk Cousins-led team never won the Super Bowl, right?
A team that lost to the Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Okay. The team that lost the Super Bowl that year beat a Kirk Cousins team.
Yeah, but they still lost the Super Bowl.
But that you said that every team that was in the Super Bowl lost to a Kirk Cousins team that year. That's what you said, 8 straight years. Don't move the goalpost now.
I'm not moving the goalpost.
Who sent this to you, Fiddleman?
No, hold on for a second.
Was it Fiddleman?
No, it wasn't Fiddleman.
Who was the other guy that sends all that stuff? The other kid who does a great job over there at CBS. What's his name?
Brian Coyle?
Coyle. Was it Coyle or Fiddleman?
Panther Sean?
Panther Sean, which one was it?
Yes.
Fakakta Fugazi stats they're sending you.
Dougie Clausen. Got a million guys over there. Hey, by the way, over the last 8 years, no team. Let's just so this is accurate. Over the last 8 years, no team that lost to Kirk Cousins that season has ever gone on to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
But the point being is the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl that year anyway.
But what you were telling me before was that if they lost to them in that year, that they didn't win the Super Bowl. So they'd have to play them and be in the Super Bowl. That's what you were telling me. If you're telling me that no team that lost to a Kirk Cousins-led team won a Super Bowl, that could be the 1 in 15 Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be any team. And then that right there just opens up the whole pool for
Let's go to
any team.
2022, right? We just did that one, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what about 2021?
No, we did 2020. Oh, yeah, 2021. The previous Super Bowl.
Was that Cincinnati?
Well, 57 was Eagles-Chiefs. 56 was Rams-Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
No. They didn't play the Rams.
Okay.
But they did play the Bengals.
Well, they lost to the Rams.
Where do you see that?
That's great.
Oh, there it is right there. They lost to the Rams, and they lost to the Bengals.
So if they lost to the Rams won the Super Bowl. Did Kirk Cousins play in that game?
That's the question.
Go back and click on that.
God.
Oh, that would be funny.
That was 2000 and...
Was that a Nick Mullins game? All right, there it is right there. Click on that one. No, Cousins played.
Cousins
I see
did
it
play,
right there.
yes. Cousins did play. He did play.
So whoever got that stat, I mean, we
That-
went
I
back
just-
3 years. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Hold on.
It's the worst. This is great.
This is making the rounds on social media. I
Well,
saw it on social media.
Oh,
That's
nothing
why.
on social media is ever
Yeah,
false.
wrong. Exactly.
Couldn't be possible. You want to read it again?
Yeah, over the past 8 years, no team that lost to Kirk Cousins that season has ever gone on to win the Super Bowl.
Lies. 2021 season. Rams beat the Vikings.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's right.
That's right. Or they've... Yeah, right. Doesn't seem like it's right. Right?
I don't know. I'm gonna confirm that. I'm just making sure how that came out. Well, I'm sorry about that. I thought you were gonna appreciate that.
No. No, you know me and the stat pack stuff. I hate it. I can't appreciate these things.
Yeah, but I thought that you were a guy who would appreciate the fact that Kirk Cousins has an impact on the Super Bowl.
Does he really?
And the point being is that would mean that Philadelphia did lose to the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So you're telling me they're not winning the Super Bowl now because of that?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to pick the Eagles or not. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, you really haven't decided.
I haven't. It's close. The last time these two teams played in the Super Bowl, the Eagles were favored by 1.5. This time they're playing in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
It's very close. Very close.
Okay. All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. Just getting started. We'll get Jerry in here